Hello again and welcome back. If you're new around here, then hello, nice to meet you, and if you are returning, then thank you very fucking much for coming back. Yes, I do have the odd sweary word on this channel. I am Scottish, that's my excuse, and that's what I'm sticking to. So if you don't mind that, then you know, you're welcome here. You're welcome here anyway, but just in case, thought I would give you a little heads up. You might have kiddies running about, something like that. Turn the volume down, put the headphones in, you know. Anyway, this video is going to be talking about Beauty Bay's hydration shit. It's going swimmingly already. Beauty Bay's hydration set. Oh, told you, like if this is the first time you've ever joined me on this channel, clearly fucking professional. Their Beauty Bay hydration set. Sounded dead Scottish there, doesn't it? Hydration. So I have had this set now. I want to say I picked this up at the tail end of August, but I have not started using it until the start of October. It wasn't until the video that I actually filmed talking about what's new, I'll put that up here, that I opened them, gave them a sniff, etc. So I've been using these for coming up on 4 weeks now. Sorry, I've got a really itchy nose. Oh, that's there, sorry. So I have been using these for coming up on 4 weeks now. I would always say wait kind of 4 to 6 weeks before you pass your judgment on a skincare item. I also try to always use a skincare item solely. Like I don't use this hydrating serum alongside another hydrating serum and interchange them. I've just been using this one just so I can get an idea and a feel for the set as a whole. So if you would like to see if I think it is worth the price tag, because the price tag is not very much, if I think they're any good, if they have worked well on my skin, and if they are worth your time and effort, then keep on watching. Also, you might want to grab a cuppa because I do like to ramble. It's just part and parcel for the course, isn't it? Part and parcel for the course? Par for the course. Par for the course. It's to do with golf, I think. Should know that. My other half works in golf. Doesn't play it, but works in it. So this set is part of Beauty Bay's skincare range that I believe they came out with this summer. I wasn't aware of Beauty Bay, like I'm not an avid user of Beauty Bay, probably till about this year. I picked up the odd thing a few years ago, but it wasn't a site that I went on a lot of the time. But now knowing the amount of indie brands that they have, I've been on them a lot more regularly. And when I was on them over the summer, I'd seen the odd kind of skincare influencer and things like that on Instagram talking about these sets that they were now doing. And like, let's face it, they were probably paid to be like, look at Beauty Bay's new skin sets. Let's be honest here. So I was a bit intrigued. So I did have a little look at them. And when I heard they had a whole set specifically for hydration, I was like, bitch, give me that, let me see. Because if you're new around here, you will not know. If you're regular here, you'll be like, yeah, I'm sick of fucking hearing about it. But I have combination skin. I am 34 years old. Well, I will be 34 in January. I'm rounding it up. May as well. The rest of this year's going to shit. I'm going to be 34 years old in January. I have fine lines, I have wrinkles. I need more hydration now than I did ever before, and we are coming into winter. So that is why I started using this at the start of October, because I thought it would be really good as the change in the weather and we go into the colder months. Now this set retails for £16. That is pretty fair. That is nearly like a fiver each for each product, just over a fiver. And I think that is really, really good. Sorry, the moisturizer is called Thirst Class Rich Moisturizer with oatmeal and oat lipids, and it is, oh god, I can't see it now. It's a 90ml tub. That is a pretty hefty size moisturizer. The face mist is called Make It Rain, and it is a 50ml, and the hydrating serum is called the Skin Hit, and it is also a 50ml. So that is pretty damn good with regards to budget friendly ranges. So what I think is quite nice about this range is that it is very budget friendly, and it's probably catered towards, if I don't want to say teenagers, but if you, I know when I was a student at uni the first time round, even like in my early 20s, you're pretty damn skint. If you can buy the 3 of these for a fiver, it might be much more in your budget range, and it feels like you're giving yourself a little treat. It's nice, I'm not going to deny that. The other thing that I thought was really cute about the marketing of it all, because let's face it, this is all marketing, was the fact that it came in a little prescription bag. I did mention that before in the other video when I was talking about what's new. It comes in a little bag. I'm a nurse. You get prescriptions when you leave the hospital, and they come in a little white and blue bag, and usually there is a little thing along with it telling you how to take each medication depending on what you're being sent home with. This came in a very similar bag. I actually wonder if I could slot a little picture in here of that bag, and I took pictures of it at the time even, of the actual little prescription, like the little thing that's attached to it, and it was like, oh, here's what you do with your prescription. And I thought, that's pretty damn cute. Let's face it, it is pretty damn cute. So once I had seen a couple of skincare influencers talking about it, and then I seen that as well, and I thought it's 15 quid, I was like, damn, you got me with your marketing. You definitely did. But let's break it down. Let's tell you what I think of each item, and let's tell you whether or not I will buy them again and how my skin has fared with them. I'm going to start off with the hydrating serum. It says on the front, again, remember, all marketing, it says Skin Hit Hydrating Serum with hyaluronic acid and glycogen, which I thought was a strange one because usually it's glycerin you're hearing about, isn't it? So yeah, but glycogen. It says for minimizing fine lines and hydrating skin for all skin types. So even though this is in the hydration set that would be maybe for more dry skin, it is a hydrating serum obviously, but it is for all skin types. It doesn't just have to be for dry skin. The very first thing I noticed about this when I opened it was the scent. I'm not gonna lie. When I opened it on my video, as I say, I keep relating to that video. Go and just fucking watch that video. So the very first thing that I noticed was, I mean, this is the packaging. Sorry, just took it off there. Little pipette dropper type thing. Very much like the ordinary, although this is all plastic. I do believe it can be all recycled. I'm sure I checked the packet on that. The first thing that I noticed about this serum when I opened it was the scent straight away. I basically filmed that video the first week in October-ish, I want to say, and then the following week started using this stuff, and obviously now we are into November. So the first time I opened it, I was like, oh, this is super duper minty smelling. Very minty smelling. So obviously the first thing I done, I was like, right, what the fuck is in this stuff? It has tea tree leaf oil and mentha piperilla. I don't think I'm saying that right, but it's basically peppermint oil in it. And I thought, right, straight off the bat, we know why it smells like mint. I'm not going to sit here, I've said before, I am not adverse to fragrance. I actually quite like fragrance in some of my skincare. I think the whole mental experience of putting on skincare and maybe even like body skincare and stuff like that, there's a lot to be said about the correlation between the two. If you're putting something on that reminds you of something, or you're putting something on that you associate with maybe something more wealthy, like a really luxurious skincare item, and you think, oh, that smells rich almost. Like, I think there's a lot to be said about that. I'm sure there is a technological term or terminology, appropriate terminology for that. Somebody who does psychology, tell me what that is. But I think there's a lot to be said about that. So I am not adverse to having fragrance in my skincare. With regards to my active ingredients, with regards to serums and stuff like that, I don't feel it is required. This to me, because it smelled like mint, reminded me, and tea tree kind of the old, remember the tea tree stuff that they used to make in Boots? I'm pretty sure they still make them in Boots. And particularly of a girl that I went to school with who had pretty bad acne. And she always had one of these little tea tree stick wands, you know, the things that look like a lip gloss but it was tea tree in it, and you dig it out, you put it on your spot, and then you put it back in, and it's bacteria everywhere. And now we all know, probably not the best idea if you've got acne, but at the time when I was many moons ago, you know, 12 years old or something, I remember this girl in school using that, and this is what that reminds me of. So mentally that's where it takes me. Regardless of that, I cannot like say it's a shit product because it's fragranced, but I am going to go into the ingredients a little further. So first of all, as I said on the front, it says it's got hyaluronic acid and glycogen, and I'm like, okay, fine. Humectants, we know what humectants are. If you've never heard me speak about skincare before, I'm going to put a playlist up here. It's all about skincare. It'll up to date you if you're not sure what the fuck I'm talking about. It's just, I don't want this video to be any longer than it already will be because I speak a lot of rubbish. I would also like to add in at this point that I am not a cosmetic cosmetologist. I am not a professional in this realm. I am a self-taught kind of read your ingredients and learn what they do, and I am a nurse, so I have some idea of how certain chemicals and actives work within the body and within tissues and what they should do in the body and what their jobs would be, not just in regards to skincare, but what they do in general. So I kind of try and teach myself as much as I can. Take it with a pinch of salt. Always go and read other things. Always go and find reputable sources. Don't just go with what I'm telling you. So on the surface of it, I'm looking at this and one of the first ingredients is water. Fine, no problem. It's a hydrating serum. I would hope there was water in there. The next on the list is propandiol. Now, if I pronounce things wrong, I'm very fucking sorry. That is basically a bit of a moisturizer, another humectant, so like hyaluronic acid. It's doing a kind of similar job. It is also a solvent as well, which kind of helps make up the product. Now, after that, we've got panthenol. Yes, panthenol, sorry. Which is a really, really good ingredient. It's kind of like vitamin B5, I want to say. It's nice that I made vitamin B5 too, or is that B3? See, I'm not professional, clearly. I don't remember these things off the top of my head. But panthenol is a well-known moisturizer for the skin. It is a humectant also. It is known to draw water to it. It is also in things like bepanthen, which we've maybe heard more regularly used for babies' backsides, for babies' bums if they've got nappy rash. So it is a really useful ingredient. It has nice lipids in it as well, which helps the skin barrier. So, okay, panthenol we are happy with. There's then sodium citrate, which is a bit like, it helps with the pH of the product. It helps kind of level things out. It helps keep the product stable rather than becoming like basically degrading and then not being useful anymore. We then have xanthan gum, which is basically just like, you get it in food as well. It's a thickening agent of sorts. It just makes, it's about the product's texture. That's all that will be doing. We then have citric acid, which I'm sure is an AHA. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's an AHA. So a kind of exfoliant in there. We then have sodium benzoate, which I'm sure is a preservative. Glycogen and sodium hyaluronate, which is basically your hyaluronic acid, and the glycogen is also a humectant. Both of them are humectants. We then have potassium sorbate and disodium EDTA, which I had no idea what either of these were, so I had to go and look it up. Basically, potassium sorbate is also a preservative, and the disodium EDTA is to control the viscosity of the product, the thickness of the product. You know, viscosity, do you remember that from science, like fucking viscosity of the product? And then you go on to the tea tree oil and the peppermint oil. So that is the ingredients in this product. So there is a lot of kind of, I mean, the panthenol, the what do you call it, sodium hyaluronate and the glycogen. What I will say as well is they are probably halfway down the list of the ingredients, so what is the strength of them, I don't know. But that is needless to say that percentages are not always the be all and end all. Because you've got a hyaluronic acid that's like 100% and then you've got one that is maybe like 2%, doesn't mean to say anything. Like, I am not a cosmetic cosmetologist, as I've already said, and it needs to be taken into account the whole makeup of the product, not just, oh, my hyaluronic acid is 100%. Like, that might not be a good thing. So there is hyaluronic acid in there. It is halfway down the list. How effective it is, I don't know. What I am gonna say is though, I opened this in that video, as I said, I was like, whoa, minty fresh, like toothpaste, minty fresh. And then the week after, when I actually went to start using it regularly in my skincare routine, and I've been using this every morning in place of my hyaluronic acid from the Inkey list because I'd ran out of that, I thought slot this in instead. When I first opened this, I was like, this smells a bit rancid. This doesn't smell quite right. I wondered if it was just something I already had on my hands. I'd had to come out of a shower, so I wouldn't have thought so. But it didn't smell as fresh as it did the first time I opened it. Now I hear you saying like, well, you know, you fucking bought it in August. Like, what are you talking about, Alana? But this has a 6 months lifespan on it. And I didn't actually open it until I made that video. And a week later, the smell has changed. That alarmed me slightly. I've continued to use it because it doesn't smell rancid. It doesn't smell like it's off, but it doesn't smell like the first time I used it either. Well, not the first time I used it, the first time I opened it either, which is a little strange. What I will say as well is, in place of my Inkey list and in place of, I usually would use the Inkey list hyaluronic acid and niacinamide, or the ordinary niacinamide and hyaluronic acid, whichever company it is. These are two that I regularly use. And in place of that, have I felt this is nicer or better or something I would be like, well, I would pick this up over the AIM? No, probably not. I don't feel like it's done anything bad to my skin. I feel my skin is still hydrated, which is great. That's a good sign. Personally though, this is too fragranced even for me, who doesn't mind fragrance in products. The fact that it did smell a little bit different about a week later did give me the willies, and I did think, getting your money's worth here. But if this is a fiver, then so are the stuff from The Ordinary and so is the stuff from the Inculus. There's very little difference in the price ranges here, and for that reason I'm a bit like, well, I'll stick to what I know. I'm not going to pick this up again. It was okay, but I don't see the need to have all these other ingredients in. It's nice, it's got a nice like makeup that feels nice when you're putting it on the skin. I don't need to have tea tree oil or peppermint oil in my hydrating product. I just don't. I bet you know where this video is going now. Okay, moving on to the Make It Rain Face Mist. Again, a 50ml bottle. It says on the front, Make It Rain Face Mist, Mineral and Super Berry Blend. For refreshing and hydrating skin, and again, for all skin types. So it's in the hydration kit, it says it hydrates. Now, I didn't mention about the hydrating serum here, but on the side it gives you the key ingredients. Again, all, like pretty much all the stuff in the front, all the shit on the side, how to use me, everything. And then it's got all the vegan stuff on the back. They are vegan and cruelty free. All this stuff, marketing. You gotta look at the tiny small print here to know what your ingredients are, and that's fine, like just so you know. On the side it says key ingredients, mineral blend. I presume that is what the mineral and super berry blend is. Mineral blend, sodium, zinc, magnesium, manganese hydrate, and energize the skin. That's not even good English for a start. It then says super berry blend, a trio of nourishing Australian berries to support radiant and healthy looking skin. Okay, fine. So first off, again, water, absolutely fine. Glycerin is the second one on the list there. Again, pleased to see you. Sodium benzoate, which I'm sure is a preservative. Then there is a lot of things that I have already said. I am not a professional, so I have had to look them up, and I apologise if I'm saying any of this wrong, or I apologise. I'm not going to go through every single one like I did in the last one, because to be honest with you, we'd be here all night, and some of them will be duplicates. Polysorbate 20. I mean, what the fuck is that? I'm sure this is to do with cleansing and emulsifying as well, which, why it's in a face spray, I'm unsure. Sodium PCA, which is a humectant, and it is something that is already, it's like something in your natural moisturising factors. So that is nice to see in there because it is a humectant that is already known in the skin. Potassium sorbate, we already went through that. It's most definitely a preservative. Disodium EDTA, we already went through that. It is to do with the thickness of it, again in a face spray, not sure why. Citric acid is again an AHA in a face spray, I don't know. But is a humectant as well. Then we go into these two that are just crazily, I don't know how to pronounce. Citrus aurantium dulcis peel oil. Pelargonium graveoliensis flower oil. That's basically rose oil. That is what that is. Magnesium PCA, which is a humectant. Kunzia pomifera fruit extract, and this I cannot say. I'm going to put it here because there's no way this is coming out my Scottish mouth. Scizilium, Gillium, I have no fucking idea. Luamani fruit extract, I have no idea. And then Tasmania lanceolata or Lala fruit extract. There's your 3 Australian berries of whatever they were talking about. So these are supposed to be like antioxidants, humectants. These are the things that will keep your skin looking radiant and healthy, so to speak. Then we have zinc PCA. Zinc is really good as a kind of anti-acne treatment, but also as a moisturizer, kind of humectant thing. Manganese, now I didn't know why manganese was in it because it's not something, as I say, not professional, but again it is something that is a humectant and moisturizing. Then we pretty much just have more perfume after that. It's just all perfume. So where am I? Manganese, then there's phenoxyethanol, citronelle, geraniol, limonene and linalool, which are all perfume agents. So let me tell you what I've been using this for. I've told you before, whenever I'm washing my face or whenever I'm cleansing my face, that I like to have damp skin before I put on something like a hydrating or a humectant serum. So I have been using, it's back there, see the silver top, the Essence water from Misha. We will go into that in another video. That doesn't have to be today. I come out of my shower, I put this on my face. I then put my humectant serum, hydrating serum on. I then let that sit for like a minute. And before I go to put on my moisturizer, I am spraying this on my face. If I have not washed my face, if I'm just getting up out of my bed and I'm like, oh, I just need to freshen up or whatever, then sometimes I'll spray this onto a wee bamboo pad, like a reusable cotton pad, dampen my face down, and then go ahead with the Misha and the same steps that I have just told you. Now, I really enjoy a spray. I really enjoy a water spray, but it doesn't have to be anything fancy like this. I just, you know, you can use the Evian in a can if you want, whatever you like. You can put it in a spray bottle of your own, water, boiled water if you need, and spray it on your face. I'm happy with that. I just want my skin to be damp before I put something like a hyaluronic acid on, so there's something for that to hold on to, for the water to grab onto. Water to grab onto, the acid to grab onto the water. You know what I mean. Again, something that I said with regards to this the very first time I opened it was the strong scent from it. This, I said at the time, I was like, it smells like the Sweeties Oddfellows. I don't know if anybody knows what they are. I don't know if it's just a British thing or a Scottish thing. I'm going to put a photo of them here. They fucking taste revolting. There might be people who disagree with me. I don't like them. They're too... And I like Parma Violet Sweeties. I like a perfumey sweetie. I do not like Oddfellows. That's what this smells like. Massively. And then, what I realised was, when I was spraying it on my face one day, maybe it's the citronella in it, is that it smells massively of mosquito spray. Massively. You know when you're abroad, you're on holiday somewhere and you're like, oh god, we've run out of the mosquito spray we bought with us from Boots, or you forgot to bring the mosquito spray on holiday with you, and you think, right, go and pick it up at the local supermarket. So you're away into the local bodega, whatever it is, you're getting your fancy foreign crisps and foreign sweets and beers and all this great stuff, and you're like, right, better pick up some mosquito spray. And you go in and there's a very limited range, which is fine. You're not in a chemist or whatever, you're just in the little bodega, and you're like, oh fuck it, I'll pick that one up, it'll be fine, that'll keep the mozzies away, and you spray it all over your body. This is what that smells like. Legit smells like mosquito spray. I know this even more, this just clarified it for me when one day I was doing my skincare and my other half walked past and was like, what have you just sprayed? And I was like, it's funny, isn't it? And he was like, yep, what is that? And I said, do you think that smells like mosquito? And he was like, yes, that is exactly what that smells like. Exactly. So, not my favourite fragrance. And as I have already said, I don't mind fragrance in a skincare, but this one is not for me. It then kind of dawned on me as well that this is only a 50ml bottle. And so therefore, the amount that I'm using of this is a lot more than I'm getting through of this or the moisturizer, which I'll get to at the end. So I think this should maybe be a slightly larger bottle, maybe a 200ml even, just to equate the amount you're using for each product, because you are going to run out of this before any of the other two products. Definitely you will. With regards to the ingredients that are in it, yes, there are moisturising factors in there. Yes, there are humectants in there. Sorry, I'm just putting it back in the box. Yes, there is some zinc for anti-acne, which is nice, but not something I necessarily asked for in a hydrating spray. I know other people might disagree, especially if you do have acne prone skin. You might be like, yep, I've got dehydrated skin, but I also am acne prone. That sounds right up my street. Perfect. But it doesn't really say anywhere on the marketing that that's what it's going to do. You know, clear your skin. It doesn't say anything about it being anti-acne. It actually puts the zinc underneath the bit for hydrating and energizing the skin, which I'm sure zinc has properties to do, but I always thought that zinc was something that actually worked well for anti-acne. Yes, it's got kind of moisturising factors, but that's certainly where I would have put it, and that is because I am a layman, let's face it. But when you look at this as a whole, with all of the ingredients that are encompassed in it, there is very little in here that, oh no, that's not true. Let me put it this way. Let's say, I don't know how many ingredients there are. Let's say there's 20 ingredients, just for a round number. 5 of them are useful, like humectants or anti-acne or preservative, because you do need to maybe have the preservative in there, and 15 of them maybe perfumes. Yeah, that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. And it might even be, you know, 12 and 8 instead of like 5 and 15. But there's a lot of bump in there that I don't feel needs to be in there, and for that reason I will not be picking this one up again. And finally, we're talking about the First Class Rich Moisturizer with oatmeal and oat lipids. Now this, as I said already, is a really big tub. It is a 90ml tub. It is almost like a body butter size tub. Again, just want to pass comment on that, because you are most definitely going to use these two up before you get through this moisturizer. There's no two bones about it. If you're only using it for your face, that is definitely going to happen. Now let's talk about some of the bump on the side of this one. It says a rich, nourishing formula which can be used during the day or overnight, featuring hydrating ingredients to help prevent water loss and replenish skin's barrier. Key ingredients: colloidal oatmeal contains natural actives such as beta-glucan and protein to help hydrate and soothe and restore skin. Oat lipids, which is rich in ceramides, a natural component of the skin which helps retain moisture without clogging the pores. Fine, grand, smashing, great. And it actually says on the other side with regards to how to use me, you know, after cleansing, applying your serums, put on as a thick layer as a mask and leave on overnight if you're feeling bougie, or just wear it as a normal moisturizer. And it also says it can be mixed with the serums, and it will be thinner when you mix them together. I haven't done that, I have to be honest with you. Maybe that would be a route I could look down, but I haven't done that. I've just been doing it the way I would normally do it, because I feel like if this is such a thick moisturizer and then this becomes encapsulated in it, how is this penetrating your skin barrier? I don't know. Now there is a lot of ingredients on this. Initially there's water, again, great to see it up there, caprylic or capric triglyceride, which is regularly used in cosmetics and soaps. It's usually made from combining coconut oil and glycerin together. Glycerin's a humectant and coconut oil is obviously a bit of an, not an emollient, but like, you know, oil. You get it. It helps to smooth the skin. It works as an antioxidant as well, so quite nice to see it in there. It's been used for a long time in cosmetics in general, so that's, you know, I'm not worried about it. Glycerin is next on the list, so we know what that does again. Then a couple along is Avena Salvia oat kernel oil, so there's your oats. There is also a lot further down the list Avena Salvia oat kernel flour. Oats are good, oats are really good. They actually are really good for the skin because they have like that lipid barrier function. They help with the lipids in the skin, but they also have a slight cleansing action as well, but I don't necessarily think that's what this is going to do. I think that would be more in something like the oat cleansing balm from the Inky List. The actual function of rubbing it on your skin and then the oils would like pull the dirt away. That's essentially how it works. But Aveeno is a big brand that basically has prided itself on using oats, and it's good for the skin, and they are good for the skin. So I'm not sad to see any of that in there. Squalene, again, a nice plant oil that's in there. There is some of that diasodium EDTA again. There is also niacinamide and panthenol. Again, we like panthenol to be in there. There's citric acid. Again, I think the citric acid, because it's an AHA, but it's surely being used like I don't know. I just find it a funny one to be in there. I don't know why. Maybe it's in a lot of things. Maybe I'm being an idiot. And then there is also sunflower seed oil too, and the potassium sorbate again. There's loads in this one, like loads. So let me tell you what I think about it. Now this one in particular does say on the front that it's for hydrating and replenishing skin for normal to dry skin types. So this one is most definitely not for all skin types. This one is for dry, normal to dry skin types. I would say dry. The ingredients look okay, the ingredients look nice, we like the look of them. There's nothing too nasty in there, and I didn't see anything too perfumery in there. There might be the odd thing in there that I can't distinguish. And what I will say is that there is no obvious overpowering scent from this moisturizer. Now, you can see here how much I've used of this. There's a fair whack, but as I say, look at the size of the tub, it's a lot. That's not necessarily a bad thing. You're getting this for a £5. Fabulous. What I will say is though that even for me who feels they need a heavier moisturizer in the winter months, or maybe you know you want to put this on as a sleep mask, this is thick. I think this is too thick to put on as a sleep mask. This would be all over my pillow. Now you get a little bit of that when you put any kind of sleep mask on, that is a given, but this is super thick. I wouldn't be putting this on as a sleep mask and then going to my bed or going after night shift and putting my sleep mask on. It just would be too messy, I feel. Maybe during the day if I had a real bad flare up to something, for instance, or if my retinol that I was using had really bad peeling properties to it, then maybe I would put this on as a bit of a mask throughout the day on a day off. What I'm going to say is though, it is buttery. Buttery is usually a good explanation or description for most products. I don't think it's a good one for this product. I feel like this product is greasy. Now, I like thick moisturizers, but I like them to soak into my skin. I feel this feels more like it's leaving a film on the skin. It's just sitting there on top of the skin. It is more like an occlusive agent than it is an emollient agent. It's something that you, like for instance, the little scar I've got on my wrist from like a few weeks back, it's still healing, it's still taking its time to heal, and absolutely put this over the top as a nice barrier, like just to protect and actually smooth out the flaky dry skin that I have that is healing because it's scabbing over, and it keeps it nice and smooth. Does it soak into the skin though? No, it absolutely doesn't. And for that reason, I have not been enjoying this either. So, sorry. I find it's useful. I've been using it, especially if I've been doing skincare on the neck and décolletage. I've been using, for instance, let me just pull this round for you. This is the Boots Ingredients Bakuchiol. I used it on my face for a little while and then thought, nah, this isn't doing the trick. And I do this quite a lot with skincare. If I've been using something on my face and I'm like, nah, it's not really doing what I want it to do. But this, for instance, rather than just waste it, rather than being like, oh, this isn't for me, I've been using this on my chest. I've been rubbing it on the old tatas because I thought, you know, if it's supposed to like keep skin radiant, healthier, smoother, why not? Like, why not use it up in that manner? Like, I know you're looking at me now like, what the fuck are you talking about? Are you a page 3 model? No. Is page 3 even still a thing anymore? Possibly not. If I'm using a product like this, you know, maybe even like this, the hydrating serum, and I'm like, I'm not really enjoying it on my face, it's not really doing too much, I don't like the smell, I would use this, then this, and then this. Oh, it's upside down, sorry. And then this, all on the neck, downwards towards the tatas. You know, why not? It saves me wasting the products. It means that I've actually got some use out of them rather than them sitting on a shelf and then absolutely just going off and not being used. I think this has its pro points. I think that, as I say, for really dry skin, for really sore skin, I can see why this would be soothing and beneficial. For my face, it is too thick, it is too heavy, and that is coming from someone who classifies themselves on the dry to normal side of skin, combination to dry skin. I don't know, if people have super duper dry skin on the face, then maybe this would be beneficial to you. And if that is the reason, I would even still go with a light emollient moisturizer following your serums and putting this on last, because this is thick. This stuff is so thick. So as a whole, I think you know what I'm gonna say about this kit. I don't think it's a bad kit, and I think for the price of it, okay, what you see is what you get. But also I think, in a way, the Ordinary or the Inculist or all these brands that have stripped back all these kind of serums and what have you, and you're paying the same price, you're actually getting more in these for your money than you are in the Inculist or the Ordinary. So make of that what you will. I personally don't feel that I need that. I don't need my hydrating serum or my face mist to be smelling like mint or sweeties or anything like that. I just want it to do its job. And if it is going to have a fragrance, I suppose I want it to smell a little bit more refined. And these don't. I think if you are someone who is maybe just getting into skincare, then buy it. Give it a go. See how you like it. You might be, as I say, a student, a young teenager, things like that, and you're like, oh, this looks good, I'll give it a bash. Just to get yourself into the routine of a skincare, I don't think that this is necessarily a bad thing. It's super cute. The marketing on it is done phenomenally. But are the products themselves worth it for me, for someone of my age, with my skin concerns, with my tastes? Will I say that? My tastes in skincare? No, I wouldn't pick this range up again, this set specifically, but it's also made me shy away from the other sets that they do. But they have other skincare items, and I probably won't pick any of them up now, to be honest with you. I will continue to use this up, absolutely. I am not a wasteful person, and I will continue to use this even on like really dry elbows or heels and stuff like that. I just won't continue to use it on my face. It's not for my face, definitely not. It's too heavy. So, with all that being said, I hope this was useful. It was a lengthy one, I'm sorry, but I did want to get into the nitty-gritty of the ingredients. But I hope you found it useful. And if you've enjoyed this video, then please give it a little thumbs up. If you've made it to the end of the video, give it a little subscribe as well, if you so wish. If you don't, that's fine, you can fuck off. And I've been saying that quite a lot recently, and people will be like, well, fuck you, see you later, I'm not coming back. But hopefully this is useful, and if you like these skincare videos, please drop me a message down below. Let me know what you think. Have you tried anything from Beauty Bay? Then let me know, because I am interested if anybody has used this kit and is really enjoying it. And please don't take offense if you are using it and really enjoy it. That's fine, that's wonderful for you. There are pros to this, but there are also cons that I just wanted to highlight why it's not worked for me. And I'm allowed that, we don't all have to agree. That's all right. Anyway, that is all for now. Hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you all again in the next one. Bye!